So 2026, Jean Dixon prophecy and the Ophiuchus Moon no one is talking about? What the heck's going on here, Beth? This is supposed to be all about astrology and you're talking prophecy? That's right. And Jean Dixon, she was a mid-century psychic and she was known all over the place because she predicted lots of big things and she was consulted by people very high up in the movers and shakers of the world. So she predicted the assassination of President Kennedy years before it happened, and Marilyn Monroe, and an attack on the Pope as well. And we're going to look at what her warning is regarding 2026. And also, we're going to show you that astrology chart, which shows you a eclipsed full moon in Ophiuchus. And whose chart is that? Well, you might know him by Mr. President right now. Anywho, we're going to be looking at that chart of Donald Trump. And we're also going to look at the destiny that all of his planets are revealed by sidereal astrology. But this is not like doom and gloom all the way. We're just doing this to help understand what's going on in our times and how the universe connects with us through our intuition and through astrology to teach us about how these things come to be and what the energies we have at our disposal to take action in our daily lives. Hi, I'm Beth, and I am a true sidereal astrologer, and I weave the magic of the stars with the power of Mother Earth. And if that sounds really weird and uncomfortable to you, I'm sorry. I really like matching things up with astronomy and not looking like a weirdo when I say that there's an Ophiuchus, which is the 13th sign, and a moon that's in it. And, you can check with Neil deGrasse Tyson to see whether there are 13 or 12 signs of the Zodiac. So Jean Dixon was a devout Catholic who believed this was a gift from God. From an early age, she was able to do this. And any money that she made from her prophecies, from her guidance, that went to charity. She didn't live off of it. They had a comfortable living in the real estate business at the time. So it was not about money or fame. She was actually trying to warn people about things to come. Jean Dixon once said, "The greatest danger comes not from brute force, but from those who gain devotion by appealing to belief." Let that marinate for a minute. And now let's look at Donald Trump's South Node eclipse in Ophiuchus. Yes, South Node. So the South Node is what carries our karma and our lessons. It also includes our gifts. So just as Christ had 12 disciples and taught that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, is representative of that Christos Sophia energy. It is all about the higher self and embracing the divine and one's place in the universe. And this is the power and promise that has been erased from other astrology systems that we practice here in True Sidereal Astrology. And this true sky chart of Donald J. Trump shows an eclipsed full moon on the South Node in Ophiuchus, which is revealing a soul shaped by loss where love should shine. It's in the 4th house, which means it is in the place where he learned emotional intelligence. So this is actually a signature of emotional displacement, of a fractured sense of home, a lifelong search for meaning through external validation, because he's been looking up at that sun, which is opposite in Taurus. That's right. Donald J. Trump was a Taurus, and it makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? He's in real estate, not technology. No, he has some other powerful placements over there in Gemini, and you can check those out for yourself. But Jean Dixon described this type clearly when she said, "He will be a man who is searching for love, but mistakes adoration for devotion." So Ophiuchus longs to heal, But when the K2 South node dominates and there's no attempt made to heal, that's when the wound becomes the driver. And Trump has said it himself. He's never happy. His question isn't that of the seeker who says, "Who am I?" but who will follow me? And the truth is, this is a really tough placement because self-awareness is hidden due to this eclipse. It requires a lot of emotional and spiritual work and work with family and reuniting with family. This is big counseling moments that Mr. Trump never got. But that's just the tip of the iceberg with this chart because it's bigger than just the moon, the one planetary body placed in Ophiuchus. In Vedic sidereal astrology, the Kala Sarpa Yoga forms when all 7 visible planets are trapped between Rahu, the north node, and Ketu, the south node. And that is clearly seen here. And what this creates is intense karmic pressure, a narrow destiny corridor, and an obsession with control, with legacy, and with power. Big gains followed by crashing lows. This is completely, everything's all on one side of his world tree, and everything is wonky and out of balance. When he rises, he rises bigger than the last time he fell. And that is what is a signature of the Kala Sarpa Yoga experience in a person's life. And back to Jean Dixon on page 186, My Life and Processes, Jean Dixon warned he will present himself to all mankind as the supreme ruler who stills and quells all warfare on earth. And his obsession with the Nobel Peace Prize, that's what this is talking about. So if that sounds familiar, all this unresolved karma means that the healing that has been offered by Ophiuchus never happened. And empathy is never fully activated in the psyche. Also, his relationship with women in particular is dark. And destiny without consequence becomes tyranny. And this is why we study the lunar nodes in astrology. And I even have a reading that you can check out with the link below. But I do want to let you know that there's a place where we could study all this together and talk about all these placements and everything that's happening in the world this year. And that's happening in a very special community that I have created for all of us. Every seeker begins under the same sky, the call of the stars whispering through the branches of night. You follow the light deeper into the forest of the unseen, and there a guide appears, a golden invitation, your entry to Zodiac Club 13, the secret celestial lounge, where the night hums with magic, candles flicker, stars shimmer, and your place is waiting. Welcome to the party, where mystics, dreamers, and star lovers gather to celebrate the real sky. Inside, visionaries study the cosmos. Hands trace constellations as they truly are and weave their stories through the cards of destiny. Here, wisdom flows like starlight, every spark a new awakening. You found your circle. Zodiac Club 13, the Midnight Lounge for seekers of the real sky, filled with 13 signs and timeless magic. So if you're ready to discover your gifts, learn karmic lessons and how to move through them with grace and beauty and love and strength in community without all the drama of social media, advertisements, clickbait, and crap in your feed, then join us in Zodiac Club 13. And I look forward to seeing you there. So this next piece is really about the spiritual deception that has been happening, not just in the United States, but other places as well. And this is belief without any type of feeling or heart or understanding that there's a consequences to your actions. A soul that's been shaped by these patterns can become a symbol rather than a serpent, a mirror for our collective longing, and a vessel for belief without wisdom. And this is my final quote from Jean Dixon, so bear with me here. Again, this was on page 187 of My Life and Prophecies. He will receive the worship of many people as if he in his own person were actually God. He will personify, in other words, a false humanism by which men worship themselves, making of themselves their own supreme law, and finding in the Antichrist energy, that's my term, Antichrist was hers, but and finding in this symbol of secret aspiration of their own fallen natures. So we have a cult, we have a cult leader, we have people wearing hats with words on their forehead denoting the symbol, the mega of it all. And the Pope died a day after shaking J.D. Vance's hand. And while I don't believe that there's an Antichrist as a person, but I do believe there's this Christos Sophia movement that has been brewing here in the United States and nurtured by Nazis and the KKK for decades. And this is what happens when the shadow side of Ophiuchus comes to bear. It's a cult. It's people being worshipped without values, where the right is wrong and wrong is right. And people start believing that it's okay to harm children. This is the shadow side of Ophiuchus that can arise through unchecked ego and unlimited control of a cult leader. Anti-compassion becomes the power, and it becomes the purpose of the system. And power replaces love, and belief replaces discernment. But it is us, the empaths, the social workers, the nurses, the doctors, the protesters, the journalists who speak out against tyranny. But this karmic pattern that we are going through collectively, this is not a lifelong sentence. This is a moment where we are being tested and where we need to take our medicine of emotional accountability, humility over dominance, service instead of spectacle. And for you individually, lead from love. Choose connection over certainty. You might not know your neighbors, but reach out to them. Break bread with them. And for heaven's sakes, ground belief in truth and actual facts that we can see with our own eyes. Because the ultimate payoff is that humanity as a whole will be better for it, and we will find our power. And we will do it together, holding hands and singing songs. So where do we go from here? 2026 is a year of decision and transformation, and a year of action. We have to decide for ourselves, who do we want to be this year? How do we show up for our friends, families, and communities? Because we have a president who is never happy, and the hippies had it right all along. Peace, love, music, these things bring happiness. Hatred never will. And the way forward is kindness in all of its forms. Some are called to lead, to protest, to stand up, to be that line. Some are doing some other things behind the scenes, in secret and in silence, feeding their neighbors, donating food, taking collections so people who are afraid to go to work can pay their rent. That is happening as well, and nobody sees that happening. But all of us are being called to one single purpose, which is to demonstrate love in all that we do. And if that sounds groovy to you, go ahead and unlock the new Zodiac. The link is below. And join Zodiac Club 13, our beautiful community. And if you really want to understand what's happening with your lunar nodes, then I've got a wonderful reading. So go ahead and click on my offerings down below, and I will see you in the next video. Blessed be, namaste, and all that jazz.